Hey everyone! We give you the first of the Ask Fire Recruitment Australia Today series. This is an initiative the Fire Recruitment Australia team has come up with to help guide you through the most common, most asked, and most searched information on firefighting in Australia and New Zealand. There will be more of this series, so watch this space. If you have a specific question, let us know in the comments below. So, how do I become a firefighter in Australia? Here are 6 quick steps to take to start your journey towards becoming a firefighter. Where do I begin? Do your research. What state will I be applying to? What are they looking for? What preparations do I need to make? It is important that you decide what fire service you'll be applying to. Most of the time, the state you're in narrows down your options. If you're looking to move out of state, you need not wait until you're in your new home before applying. As long as recruitment and some of its stages can be done online, you can begin with your application. Just be sure to be physically present when required. This is usually in the latter stages of recruitment. When applying for a fire service, it is very important to read and understand the organisation you're looking to join and the job description for the role. Convert this into a list and evaluate yourself how well you stack up against these requirements. Lastly, remember that the best candidate is always the most informed and most prepared. So read. That is the surefire way to prepare for the role. Understand the requirements, accomplish them, prepare yourself physically and mentally long before application starts so you do not cram when it does. At Fire Recruitment Australia, we have a membership program that provides support prior to and for each stage of ongoing recruitment. Where do I apply? It depends on the fire service. Online or in person? How long do they open? What do I need to pay attention to? Most fire services require you to apply online, either through their own website, the government website, or a third party. Application submission usually varies from a couple of days to 2 to 3 weeks every year, depending on the fire service, their evaluated needs, and allotted budget. Remember to follow instructions carefully. Upload relevant documents only and only when required. Some of these documents include, but are not limited to, your resume, verified ID, driver's license, and first aid certification. When given targeted questions or selection criteria, always review the purpose or revolving theme for them and respond accordingly. At Fire Recruitment Australia, we have come up with a module to help tackle this type of question and a digest as to why they are highly relevant in your application. If you're already a member, reach out to admin today to get a copy of it. Am I qualified? Do a checklist. What level of educational attainment is required? Are there any age requirements? Do I need to be a citizen? Are there any other credentials required? Most fire services in Australia require a minimum of Year 10 certifications in school and at least 2 years of full-time employment. Those who fall just a bit short of the education requirement can visit their local TAFE and ask for help, or be re-evaluated to get the certification. There is no minimum age to become a firefighter. However, most fire services require that you have at least possession of your manual driver's license for at least 2 years when submitting an application. In Australia, only citizens, those with permanent residency status, and those with New Zealand passports but with appropriate working visas can apply to fire services. Depending on the fire service, you may need to provide additional requirements like verified driving records and criminal records, or access to look into them. Additionally, all fire services require a medical assessment by their authorised GP. Certain conditions like vision problems, hearing deficiencies, and asthma may preclude you from getting the job. Read the fire service's FAQs to get more info on these conditions. Understand though that these do not mean an automatic disqualification. Fire services provide a case-to-case basis consideration. Fire Recruitment Australia would like to remind everyone to set up a valid and formal email address, as most communications go through via email. Make your email nice and clean so as to avoid any typos. After all, when you get to the next stage of application, we're pretty sure you want to get that email. Apply out of state? Only to a certain degree. It depends on the state. What are the stages allowed to be done off-site? Are there any travel and testing fees? As stated in the first slide, applications can be done out of state or overseas, but only to a certain degree. In most states, application can be done online up to the aptitude and sometimes the interview stage. Physical and group assessment always requires you to be there physically. Make sure to keep an eye out for the Fire Services recruitment calendar so you can manage your flight and travel accordingly. Remember, any and all expenses you incur during and for recruitment are shouldered by the applicant. Application stages may vary from state to state. What are the stages? How long does it usually take? If I pass, when do I begin? If I fail, when can I try again? The number of stages and the order they follow vary per fire service. Although, generally, they do require you to go through these stages in no particular order. Online application, aptitude test, physical aptitude test, group assessment, psychological profiling, interview, and medical exam. Recruitment can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months, depending on the number of applicants that pass through each stage. If you pass, the wait can take anywhere from a month to 6 months, depending on the recruitment course calendar. In the event that you missed out on an intake, most fire services allow you to reapply in the next one. However, there are also those that require for a cleansing period, depending on the test provider they used for aptitude. Golden notes. Beat the competition. How many applicants are there? Are there any tips and insights? Our recruitment can have anywhere from around 1,000 or just under to well over 5,000 applicants at each time, depending on state and service. This is why it's so important to make sure you are giving yourself the best chance possible. It may be hard to believe, but out of this many applicants, so many fail to prepare themselves properly and fail time and time again when applying. Top 3 tips. Number 1. Gain an in-depth understanding of the role you are applying to. Number 2. Gain an in-depth understanding of the service you're applying to. Number 3. If you want to end up in the top few percent, you must take action and act like the top few percent. So, if you're going through the process and you need a hand with any aspect, just reach out with the link below or leave a comment below and I'll point you in the right direction. Thanks for tuning in. This is FireRecruitmentAustralia.com. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any updates. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.